Facebook. It's Marcia Whyte with Gratitude Speak, where I help you go from your grief to your greatness and through loss to your leadership role. And on the business side, I help you leverage your relationships for more revenue. And today we're talking about why showing up matters. Because if you haven't been, you need to be. And I mean showing up not just online, but offline too, because it is critically important that for all of the energy and effort and time that you invest in preparing for live streamings and posting online and all the different platforms, it's not as helpful to you if you're nowhere to be seen in the regular day-to-day marketplace, particularly for those who want to or have been expending some time or meaning to expend some time in networking functions. And let me give you a real-life scenario of how that may play out. For those who consistently follow me here on social media, particularly Facebook, I went to a chamber function. I think it was last week. It was an unexpected, I didn't know they were having the function, but because a colleague said, "Are you going to the thing after?" They gave a business after hours. And I said, "I didn't know about it," but I had enough time between my 7 o'clock training and my last appointment, which I think was over around 4 something. I said, yeah, I can squeeze in at least an hour and 15 minutes, because not showing up, showing up for a small amount of time beats not showing up at all. And I'm so glad I did, because not only was I able to renew some connections that I had kind of lost touch with just because of time and people changing jobs, but I was also able to make a ton of new connections. One, I believe, has already resulted, I think it's at least one, in a speaking engagement. A couple more for talking about doing some presentations. But even more from that, I was talking to someone about what I do, and you guys know how these networking things go. And a woman walked up in our conversation. I'm talking to, person A, and this woman walks up and she is just so positive, and she's like, "Hey, it is so good to see you." And I kept saying, "I know you from somewhere." She said to the woman I'm talking with, "You need to get her on your speaking schedule and come out and talk to your people, because she did a presentation," talking about me, "last year to our group," and she named the group. And it was phenomenal. We were talking about that, and she has forms. The forms that she was referring to happen to be my evaluation form, because I am always tweaking. There's always room for feedback from me, because I don't take any of it negatively. I usually use it to, how can I put it, to make myself better for the next association, the next presentation, the next organization, the next keynote, whatever it is. This woman sold me to basically, or sold, my services for me. Now, could I have planned it any better? Absolutely not. My point is, though, had I missed that opportunity, then it wouldn't have happened. I had no idea that I made that kind of impact, and it's terribly gratifying to hear that I've made a difference for some people. And once she named the organization that she was a part of, I remembered, oh yes, I remember exactly what that presentation was. And it's part of actually my signature program. By the way, that will be going up on the internet very soon. I've just finished a marvelous freebie for you guys, just to get those who are not familiar with me a bit more comfortable with who I am and what I do. But the other thing is, I met someone there who I've known from social media. He's in the same city that I am, and he is extremely supportive of my posts on Facebook. Now, I'm on other platforms, and you can follow me on Facebook at Marcia, M-A-R-C-I. Well, you'll look it up because you're on my page. You can follow me there. You can follow me on my Facebook fan page at GratitudeSpeak, one word, with Marcia Whyte. And that's where he's very active. Now, having said that, I'm also on Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Across most media platforms, I'm at GratitudeSpeak. But I kept saying his face looked so familiar. And he finally said, "Are you Marcia Whyte?" And I said, "Yes." And when he introduced himself, it immediately clicked because, like I said, he is always liking something, commenting on it, sending me messages. And again, that was also terribly gratifying. I don't take any of this as an ego trip. I feel like it's well deserved because I put a lot of time, effort, energy, and preparation into showing up for you guys. And on days that I don't show up, it's either having to do with, health or my schedule, or I don't feel prepared, and that very seldom happens. It's usually health or my schedule, and time sometimes can get away from me because we're all busy, and sometimes meetings, phone calls, consultations, and the like get away from you. But the point is, you have to show up, and it's not enough to hide behind social media. It is great in order to get you exposure to people and organizations you might otherwise not have gotten, on their radar. Or if you did get on the radar, more than likely because of social media consistency, you would show up sooner rather than later. But the point is, you have to show up. You have to do the work. You have to bring value. You have to be prepared. And also, this is key, be able to show the alignment between how you show up online with how you show up offline. My mission is, sorry, wrong way, to inspire and to motivate. All right. It is not about Gratitude Speak, is not about sitting around the campfire singing Kumbaya. In an ideal world, that may be great. But we don't live in an ideal world. We live in a world where people are struggling to make money. People are struggling to get good quality content. Um, I will in just a second. Just got a comment about Instagram. And people they want to follow people. They want to be influenced by people who are responsibly using social media. I'd rather not be on it if I'm not going to be responsible and responsive. Now, to that end, Jeffrey, for the pros and cons of Instagram, it's like anything else. It's not for everybody. They say that the more that you're on, the easier it gets. I happen to love it because it is a very visual program. You have to have a graphic that speaks to not only your brand, but in such a way that it captures the attention immediately of your audience, because we are a visual society. We like things that speak to us. Now, on my page, and I learned this from someone who is an Instagram pro, and I just inboxed them. They were saying to me they loved my page. I'm very inspiring, the whole 9 yards, but there's no continuity to my flow in terms of the color scheme, the way that the posts show up. And so I have been streamlining that to make sure that I stay in consistency. And how I do that is through my branding colors, which are red, black, and white. And if you can see behind me, I have a red and silver curtain, which is very much on brand message and color. Now, again, Instagram, you can do comments, but Instagram, and I'm not a social media expert, but Instagram has a lot to do with your hashtags. Hashtags are critical. They're more critical, or at least as critical as they are on Twitter, because what it does is it gives people, it's kind of letting people know these are the things that you're interested in. These are the things that they can consistently expect to see from you. So for instance, in your case, it would be radio host, radio show, relationships, entrepreneurism, those kinds of things. And offline, you and I can have a conversation about some of the tips that I've learned. I, again, am no way an expert, but I have learned a few things about it that is really getting me to consistently, organically grow my Instagram following, because like anything else, everybody wants to have massive followings. And I'm probably the exception rather than the rule, because I would rather have quality, potential clients, potential referral partners, potential joint venture partnerships, and I want to grab their attention. I don't need, 500,000 followers if all they want to do is just troll the internet. You know what I mean? I want people of quality. I want to produce quality live stream videos so that when I put them, for instance, on LinkedIn, okay, so I'm not all, quote, suited up today, but I'm still comporting myself as a professional that is prepared, believes in her message. I'm still on brand. All of that takes into account how I show up. When I'm out and about networking, going into or coming out of meetings, I also take care with, how I carry myself, because again, people want to see that you are consistent day in and day out. And that's very important to me just because of how I'm wired, the way I was raised, my early business training. This is just another avenue, another platform, another resource to get my message, my brand, my face, my name, my services out there. And so it can be a lot of fun. I have a ton of fun, but I'm also very intentional about what I plan for the day. Just like on my radio broadcast, I have themes that I go by, whether they're color themes, whether they are message themes, whether they are the same type of picture or graphic. It's all relative. I actually will be able to send you something, Jeffrey, when I get off of here, that has helped me in terms of a tool where you can plan out on different platforms. The importance of an auto scheduler cannot be dismissed as well, so that you're not just remembering every few minutes. So yes, thank you. We're going to get to that because the link is actually in the comments. It's in the title. So the point of this whole broadcast is to make sure that you are not only showing up well, but showing up consistently, online and offline, because when people see you and recognize you, it's not really a celebrity head trip you're after. You can tune in to what do we just have, the SAG Awards, the Oscars and Grammys and all that stuff will be coming up soon. But locally, especially, you want people to say, oh, I know her and I want to approach her because I know how she is. I know how she presents herself. I know what message she stays on. I like her aura, her energy, her passion for whatever it is that she's presenting on. It makes a huge difference, folks. And if you're not using social media to broaden your network, broaden your sphere, broaden your influence, broaden your audience, you are totally missing the boat. Do you have to be active on every platform? Absolutely not. I have 4 that I really like and I think that I'm really good at, and I stick with those. There are others that I may have accounts on, but I'm not really active. But I realize that those are not critical right now to how I want to align myself, because whatever I'm committing to, online or offline, I want to be committed. When I play full out. I play all in, whatever the colloquialism is that we should use. I want you to know that I show up. And so in that, you can count on me to be consistent. Now, having said that, if you are struggling in your business with either wanting to or needing to enhance your revenue through greater relationships, I can show you that with my business coaching. If in your life you have suffered some kind of loss, and let me define what that looks like, certainly a death, or a promotion, or being downsized, or having a nasty breakup, or particularly difficult divorce, I help you with that in my life coaching. And you would be spending your time well in the book me link in the title of this, to reach out to me for a complimentary call where we can see how best I can support you. And I'm fair enough to say, look, if this isn't resonating with you, this is not going to be a fit, because I want it to work on both sides. The second link is to the bit.ly link. It's for tonight at 9 p.m. every Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time in the United States. BGBO radio show is business, the good, bad, and otherwise. If you are an entrepreneur, if you are a small business owner, or you have entrepreneurial or business ownership thoughts and plans, please, ma'am, please, sir, click on that link. It will take you directly to our broadcast channel tonight at 9 p.m. This evening, we are having a very special guest. She is a sales coach of, I think, almost a decade and a half, and an income acceleration mentor. So you can call in with your questions. You can certainly, there's a chat where we can deal with you live, and you can make your comments. But tune in and get some valuable information, some valuable resource. And let me tell you, the reason the show is called The Good, Bad, and Otherwise of Business is because if we can inspire you or push you or show you resources or another way of thinking about how you've been going about your business and save you from going down a path and hitting a stumbling block or a wall that you might otherwise, with no guidance, have hit, then our mission has been accomplished. What we really want to do is serve you and serve you well. So serve you in such a way that you can flourish and fly and soar with your brand. I would love to have you. Hey, Mac, I'm so glad to see you. Like I said, tonight we're going to have a phenomenal guest. I think all of our guests are pretty phenomenal. They are vetted. And here's the extra thing, and you'll hear me say this every week on the show, because as we get, and our listenership is growing, we're in all 50 states and we're in 160 countries. So it's an excellent sponsorship opportunity. But our guests have to be committed to show up vulnerable. And what do I mean when I say that? Quite simply, they have to be, and this is a question that lets them in or not on the show, willing to share one of their biggest mistakes. Not so that we can put them on blast and embarrass them, but merely to let you know, as our listeners, that everything that you are going through, everything that you're experiencing in terms of frustrations or joys or triumphs or tragedies or whatever it is, someone has been there before and has managed to survive and sustain themselves and get past that hump. And so we share those resources and the lessons learned from that. So if you think that is going to be helpful to you, we welcome you on the broadcast. Again, it's 9 p.m. tonight. You can just click on that link and save it and share this broadcast out so that others that may be in need and not be aware of it can be a part of our family. We're always looking to extend our family, because good business people know you can never have too many quality people in your sphere of influence. So as always, I hope that this has been helpful. I look to hear from you all on the discovery calls using the Book Me link. And tonight at 9 p.m., tune in to hear an income acceleration mentor and master sales coach of almost 15 years. So with that, I'm going to go and get some more hot citrus water, which I've been sipping on all day. It's really yummy. And get my throat ready so that I can talk with my guest this evening. I will see you guys there. Have a fantastic week. I will see you the next broadcast. Bye.